And so as manufacturers, producers and importers, there are solutions to your foreign exchange challenges.
Awesome. Hello, I'm Sandra, Comfort Zone Manufacturing.
Mr. Frank, Amigo Manufacturing.
Fantastic presentation, by the way.
Thank you.
You sounded so confident in your presentation. How are you coping with the current economic recession in the country? You know, as manufacturers we are largely dependent on local market. Many of our finished goods are piled up in the warehouse. Because demands from buyers have reduced, what do you think is the way out?
You are right actually, I'm also experiencing the same situation. The current decline is making it difficult to sell locally. But I'm already preparing to take advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA.
AFCFTA?
Are you not aware of the fact that the whole of Africa have come together to sign an agreement to trade together duty-free? And that means, after manufacturing my products I can ship it to 53 African countries without payment of duty.
Awesome.
Which is an extra market for me. This program is starting next year and I'm already preparing to take advantage of it.
Wow, thank you so much. How are you going about it? And how can I also prepare for it?
Well, I'm currently training myself and other staffs to take advantage of this. And I've found an executive diploma program in export business from the American Institute of Extended Studies to enable me to achieve this.
This is great. Thanks so much for the information. How can I also enroll for this program?
To register for an executive diploma in export business management and take advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement.
Simply call 0809-124-4449 or send an email to tradacademy@3timpex.com.
Welcome, sir. This is the second time I'm coming to see you. I need to know how to go about this export business. Please do relax, sir. With all due respect, I need to see a manager. You guys need to be able to give me enough information about this export business. I'm sorry, sir. The bank is a financial institution. We offer financial advice to the best of our knowledge. This is just waste of time. My manager might be able to give you some recommendations. Please do hold on. Hello, sir. Please do come with me to my office. So I was told you needed information on export business. Well, sir, a lot of opportunities have passed by me in the past few months. I have received so many orders for my product and services abroad I just don't know how to go about it. Well, it's a good thing you came here today. One of Nigerian's foremost trade consulting firm 3T Impex now provides export support services for both intending and existing exporters. Really? Support services like? Well, name it. Export market advisory, export product advisory, export skill acquisition e-learning, export pricing advisory, export contract advisory, export paperwork advisory, export finance advisory, to mention just a few. Wow, this is like a dream come true. How do I contact them to know more? Simply call 0809-124-4449 or send a mail to tradacademy@3timpex.com. Export service designed just for you. Subscribe to 3T Export Support Services now. Wow, man, you are doing quite good. You are not doing bad yourself. How is your business doing these days, with the economic decline here and there? You don't look like you are being affected at all. Well, it's affecting everyone. I just found a way of, expanding market for my services. Really? Tell me more. Let's talk in my office. So basically, I found a way of taking my services to other countries in the world. Hence I don't have to depend so much on the current economic situation in our country.
Oh my god, this is awesome. But how did you go about it?
Well, thanks to 3T Impex and American Institute of Extended Studies, I was able to acquire skills and competence to take my skills to the world through Executive Diploma in Service Export Management.
That's just great. Is this program just for everyone? You know I'm not into ICT service like you.
Well, the following services and many more can be exported. They are ICT, professional services, management consulting, marketing, training and education, engineering and architectural services, entertainment services, customer services and call center, graphics and photography, HR-related services. Don't get me started on the benefits. Earning in foreign exchange, increased sales volume and so much more.
I'm not waiting to hear more. I'm calling 08036522946 right away.
You can also send a mail to tradacademy@3timpex.com.
That's it. I'm signing up right away.
To sign up or know more about our services, simply call 08036522946 or send a mail to tradacademy@3timpex.com. Hey Paul, what a surprise to see you in the port, of all places.
Life is full of surprises, I guess.
You and this your sense of humor. I came to relax at the riverbank before I sighted you. So, what on earth brings you to the port?
Actually, I came to oversee the export of my products.
You must be joking, right?
No, I'm not.
When did you start producing? Not to talk of exporting?
I actually started some few months ago. I now produce and export processed food items. And basically I am here to oversee the shipment myself.
Wow. It's been barely 15 months since I last saw you. Won't you tell me how all this happened?
Of course I will. Let's go grab a sit.
So how did you become an exporter in such a short time?
Well, the last time we met I told you of my plans on exiting paid employment. So I was looking out for a business to go into. A few weeks later, I came across a training program organized by 3T Impex Trade Academy, one of Nigerian's foremost trade consulting companies.
Really?
Yes, the training is tagged From Export Novice to Export Legend.
Sounds great. Tell me more.
After 6 months I completed the Diploma in Export Business Management. And in another 6 months, I successfully produced and packaged, even without having a manufacturing company.
Amazing.
I know, right? And all this is aside the free export advisory services, free export license, free books and audio materials, to mention just a few.
Wow, thank the heavens I came down to the port today. I am definitely considering this. How can one get started?
Simply call 0809-124-4449 or visit www.globaltradecollege.com. You can also send an email to tradacademy@3timpex.com. Be a pal, own your own export business, and become an export legend today.
All right, good evening, everyone. If you can hear me, kindly indicate, please. If you can hear me, kindly confirm you can hear me so we can start. Thank you for joining tonight. We're looking at part 11. All right, thank you. We are looking at part 11 of the Exploring Exportable Products in Nigeria to the African Market. We will soon be done with this series. Hopefully by December, we should be starting a fresh and brand new series where we'll be looking at all the market in Africa. That might take us over 50 days. So that means we typically will be doing once a week. Oh my God, that might take us for the whole year actually, looking at different markets in Africa. Maybe we'll try to do 2 in a week so that we can finish on time. And that's maximizing the market, just checking out the market, moving across different economy in Africa, checking out the peculiarity of those economy to be able to know which one we can target. And also checking what they import or export. So just checking out what does this country import, what do they export? Is this something Nigeria also can offer? That will be the focus in that new series that will be starting in December. It's been almost 6 months we started this series. Used to be import-export platform online, but now we're doing it on Zoom. So remember, there is a Telegram channel for those of us that are probably joining for the first time. There's a Telegram channel you can join. I've dropped the link on the chat. If you click on that link, you can join the Telegram channel. Remember, this is part 11. So that means you have missed part 1 to part 10. If you are joining for the first time today, you have missed part 1 to part 10. And we have done so many products. We did, I think in this series, we've done probably about 70, 80 products altogether. By the time we are done in 2 weeks' time, we'll have done about 70 to 80 products altogether that Nigeria have capacity to import, to export, and is currently being imported in tens and hundreds of millions of dollars, and in some cases, billions of dollars of import of those items on the African continent. And there's a good news for you and for me also. The Federal Executive Council yesterday approved the ratification of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. The president signed over a year ago. I think that was last year, July. And the president signed over 1 year after every other person signed, or most people signed. But now we are ratifying. So we are becoming a state party in the AFCFTA, a state party. That means we are a member that have all the right that every member in that agreement right. Remember, it's a free trade agreement. It's a journey towards the full integration of African economy. And if you are familiar with economic integration theory, you have the free trade area, you have the custom union, you have the common market, you have the economic union. So we are still at the level of European Union is already at the level of economic union when you have single currency. But for Africa, we are just starting. It's called Agenda 2063. Agenda 2063. And the idea is for Africa to have one market, one currency, and with the continent with the largest, with the second largest population as continent and the largest free trade agreement in the world. This is a very important one for us. So Nigeria have signed, but we are ratifying now. And they've approved that the Minister of Justice should go ahead and ratify, which I think is a very good news. People in the trade community have been worried about the delay we have had, but thank God that eventually we've been able to take that decision finally. So you can join the Telegram channel. From there, you will see the link to the previous videos, to the video of the previous episode, rather, of this program. Remember also the network of practicing non-oil exporter. Network of practicing non-oil exporter. This is a program designed, this is a body, rather, that was formed by UK Aid to get Nigeria to work together and be able to fight for the right of exporters in Nigeria. You might want to join, and that's why you have the link to their website there. Also, if you are able to get someone to attend any of those training programs we have played the video, then you stand the chance of getting a commission of 10% from the Americans of Extended Studies for being able to get individuals to join or be part of our diploma program or any of our certification program for international trade in Nigeria. Also, we have the export business for busy executive. You know, the one we did this year, we've had delay. We just paid our client, our investor, because we had a long delay called COVID-19, but we're happy we're able to weather the storm. It's a program designed to help individuals invest while they are working. And what we've done also is to ensure there is a guarantee from a tier 1 bank. And through the guarantee, you are protected by the bank. Your fund is protected by the bank so that no matter what happens, you don't have a reason to lose your investment. It's called Export Business for Busy Executive. You can also reach out to me to get more information on that. All right. We are starting with raw cotton today. In Africa right now, the raw cotton market is about 380 million in terms of import. I'm not surprised that Egypt is a major importer, because if you know the garment business very well in Africa, you know Egypt is the leader in garment business in Africa. Egypt is the leader in that business. And I'm not surprised that they are major markets importing this item. Nigeria has been a producer of raw cotton. Nigeria has been an exporter of raw cotton. For one reason or the other, it's not been in the front burner. But AFCFTA is giving us an opportunity to reconsider this product. And sell within the African market. So who are the other buyers? The other buyer includes South Africa, Mauritius, Algeria, Morocco, being major importers of this item. But it's interesting to know that Egypt has taken over 62% of this market. A whopping 62% of this market is Egypt alone. How about the exporters? Currently, Benin Republic is an exporter, and you know Benin Republic is just next door neighbor. But if you look at the volume of export, what Benin is exporting is actually much more than what the whole Africa is importing. So obviously Benin Republic is selling to a lot of other countries outside Africa. And I am tempted to believe that some of the cotton being produced in Nigeria is cheaper out through Benin. You know, because I know any product that Nigeria produces, that neighboring country produce, but sell at a premium, Nigerians decide to be shipping out through those countries. For example, if you ship raw cashew nut out of Benin Republic, buyers are willing to pay some extra $50 or $100. So if the price of the product is, let's say, $800, if they are buying the premium Ogbomoso cashew nut for $800, they might be ready to buy at $900 from Benin Republic. From Benin Republic. Eromosele. I'm not sure we have done tomato, but it's good you mention it. I'll try to check it out, but I'm not sure we have done it. But I'm sure we are doing onion today, but I'm not sure we have done tomato product. If you reach out, the phone number that is normally in the message you get, if you reach out to that phone number during maybe in the course of the week or weekend, I'll probably check it out. So Benin Republic is a major exporter. followed by Burkina Faso, followed by Cote d'Ivoire, followed by Egypt also is an exporter, and then Sudan is another market to consider if that is of interest to you. And you can see the way the trend of purchase has been, even though it looks, trend line looks growing, but it's very, very sinusoidal. Onion, 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 onion. This is another product that Nigeria produced very well, $328 million in import. Onion. So who are the major importer of onion in Africa? Where is the market you should be interested in Africa? Senegal. So if I want to ship out onion from Nigeria, I should be looking at Senegal, I should be looking at Cote d'Ivoire, I should be looking at Guinea, I should be looking at Mauritania, I should be looking at Mozambique, Angola, Mali, Gambia, Ghana, Morocco. But Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire are major buyers of this product. And Cote d'Ivoire is just down the road. So Cote d'Ivoire is a market to consider. How about Egypt? On the import side, on the export side rather. On the export side, you have Egypt. The total import volume is $328 million. Remember, $100 million is actually about 40, it's almost 50 billion naira. At 450, that would be 45 billion naira. So you can imagine how much is in that market and the volume that Africa is purchasing. But it's good that we already have a major competitor in Egypt. Egypt seems to be a major force to reckon with in all our conversation today. Egypt, 64%, South Africa, 10.8%, Morocco, 7.63%, Niger, 4.38%, Kenya, 3.13%, and these are competitors. So these are competitors. So if we want to export, that is a market to consider. And you and I know that this is something we can do. And for agric is a lot easier. You know, I've always recommended rather, or I have often recommended that if we are looking at finished products, we need to consider it from the perspective of contract manufacturing. That means currently I'm exporting some item to the UK and they are manufactured to Canada and they are manufactured good in Nigeria. Food item, manufactured good item in Nigeria, and that has been exported to Canada. So that's what we should be looking at actually. That's what I think should be of interest to us. The fact that we need to seriously consider the export of this item, value-added item, and the fact that we don't need to be the manufacturer of those items, but rather we can partner with those already producing those items in a contract manufacturing arrangement. In a contract manufacturing arrangement. Like I've often emphasized that that's actually a low-hanging fruit. In the sense that you will easily have access to the market through that channel and then build from then on. And then build from then on. And then build from then on. But in my opinion, it's a low-hanging fruit giving access to the market. And to think of onion, I think it's a very, very good one, considering the fact that Nigeria can do this. Remember, trend line shows continuous growth is food item, soup and broth. You know, soup. And Nigeria is importing soup. Even though, you know, I don't know if it was produced from Nigeria, but I saw a canned banga soup in UK. I have a sample in the office. a canned banga soup. A number of our soup can be canned, especially those interesting and fantastic soup from the East can be canned. What we must work on, if we are going to get our food to go global, what we must work on is how to transfer the food in a way that it will be preserved in transit with little or minimal preservative. I've often talked about jollof rice and fried rice produced by Varo in India, but delivered to the UK, and right on the body you will see written in bold letter, "Come home to Nigeria." So obviously, the target of the producers, the target of the manufacturers of that product is targeting Nigerians. The target are Nigerians. So soup and broth. Soup and broth. Canning it is what we must do. This market is $338 million market. $338 million market. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot for us to consider within the African continent. Like I said, it's going to be canned. I saw also, this one was frozen. Ewedu. What's the name for it now? I'm looking for English name for it. But the way ewedu is prepared, but this one, they've already prepared it, but now it was inside a nylon, but it was frozen, so it can remain fresh. But when I check the body, it's from Egypt. Another soup. From Egypt. From Egypt. And when you look at this thing, like the rice I talked about that time, the technology behind it is not so difficult, because if you're a microbiologist, you agree with me that the reason why things get spoiled is because of moisture and because of air. Moisture and air. Those are two major things that make stuff to get spoiled. And what they did is to minimize the moisture content and to ensure there is vacuum sealing to minimize the air. Since the moisture and air content is minimized, the tendency to last for long becomes very, very high. The tendency for it to last for long becomes very, very high. And that's rice. Okay, someone say, where do is jute mallow in English? Thank you. I can't even remember what they wrote on it, but it was produced in Egypt and being sold abroad. I'm basically saying that a number of our food items, soup, and things, and I know a number of Nigerians have started working on that, because I've seen grinded pepper. There's a lady called Omalata that does grinded pepper. And I've seen a couple during some of these GTB food and drink show. Unfortunately, COVID could not allow the one of this year to hold. I tried to go there to see new innovations of Nigerians in the food industry. Fantastic stuff, fantastic stuff. So there's a lot of opportunity within that space. A lot of opportunity within that space. So what I'm trying to say is that what we should be thinking about is how we can begin to package some of our soup item for export. Some of our soup item for export. And I'm checking online now, and I can see a can filling machine of about $21,000, about $22,000. So that means you can get a can machine, and I'm sure there'll be smaller versions. I'm sure there'll be smaller versions, but I was just trying to check out if someone decides, okay, he wants to do soup and you need a can filling machine, how does it work? And just checking online right now, and I'm able to get something for $10,000. Sorry, $20,000 rather. So I'm basically saying that these machines are available for us to use, and we must think manufacturing as a people rather than just do commodity. We've done commodity for many years and it does not help us. We must begin to look at how we can add value as much as possible. Who are the competitors if you want to go into the space of soup export? Senegal. Interesting. Just 4 countries taking up almost 80%. Just 4 countries. Cote d'Ivoire 17.4, Egypt 11.5, South Africa 19.5, Senegal 46.4. So that's a lot. Almost 90%, just 4 countries. And the fact that Senegal is doing a lot in this space also for me is commendable. $278 million just for soup. And your guess will be as good as mine. You can see the trend line. Like I've often emphasized that we have population explosion in Africa. Our population is growing so rapidly. And because our population is growing so rapidly, what is happening is that our demand for food also is increasing. And look at Nigeria. That Nigeria is part of the importer of soup. Mali, Mozambique, Nigeria, Ghana, Niger, Burkina Faso, Guinea. I'm particularly interested in the fact that a lot of West African countries are importing soup. The major importer of soup in Africa is West Africa. Nigeria, Mali, Ghana, Niger, Burkina Faso, Benin, Guinea, Gambia, Sierra Leone, Cote d'Ivoire, interested. I'm just thinking aloud, why is it that it's West African countries that are the major importer of soup and broth in Africa? All right. So the competitors, if you want to export soup, are Senegal, South Africa, Cote d'Ivoire, Egypt, Nigeria. So Nigeria is doing small. I know I've seen Banga. I'm sure that Banga exporter is from Nigeria. I didn't check the body to know which country, but they wrote Banga on it. So I'm not surprised I'm seeing Nigeria as one of the exporters doing $8.6 million in 2018 is amazing. So for me, seeing a Nigeria on that list is amazing for me. It's interesting because, you know, what some people often, we know sometimes people just give reasons and excuses why they can't do something. So what I ask myself is has someone been able to do it in our country? Because sometimes someone else is in another country and say, that country have this, that country have that, that country have this, that's why that country is able to do it. But in this case now, we have someone doing it from Nigeria, probably more than one, but at least I remember Banga soup. I think someone also has shown me this soup There's one soup in Ogun State that I think someone also have canned. But the fact that they've not even able to can one is, for me, a great feat. So you can see that Nigeria is an importer and exporter at the same time. Antibiotics. Antibiotics is a very big deal. A very big deal. Because Africa's export of antibiotics is so small. We are mainly importers. And remember what I've said. A product like this require a lot of technical expertise because you are talking about drugs here. What that means is that this kind of product, if you want to consider it, you might need to partner. Partner for contract production. Partner for contract production. Partner for contract production. Partner for contract production. This is very important, ladies and gentlemen. Partner for contract production. I'm emphasizing it because I just have a feeling that that is the way Nigeria can become easily industrialized. It's going to bring a lot of money into the hand of people manufacturing those products. So even if they don't have to consider working with banks, they can have a lot of money. Demand can be more on them. They can concentrate on the research and development and production aspect of the value chain, while someone else concentrate on the marketing and sales. And they can then produce in their own brand on the brand of the other person. But the idea basically is that let's have a lot of merchants in Nigeria. We are talking about international trade here. Let's have a lot of merchants. We need a lot of merchants in Nigeria. To win under AFCFTA, we need to go the merchant way. If demand is placed on the few producers of drugs, for example, and the pharmacists decide, instead of producing, I would rather partner and go and meet some local indigenous manufacturer of drugs and sell for them on the African continent. Go into those countries, check their requirement, get sample across, let them do their testing, do validation, and get all the licenses, and then become the sole distributor in that country on behalf of the manufacturer back at home. The manufacturer keep producing because the demand is there. There are different people in Nigeria selling to different countries and different regions on the African continent, courtesy AFCFTA. So I am looking at this strategy so that, because it seems as if more often than not, when we think of export, number one, people get it wrong by thinking only of commodity. When we think of export, number two, people get it wrong by thinking they need to be in all the aspects of the value chain. That is grossly inefficient. Grossly inefficient. Unless you're a very big company and you have different departments handling different issues around this. But for an SME, I think it's not wise at all. I think manufacturers in Nigeria are going to have access to a lot of cash. Manufacturers in Nigeria are going to have access to a load of cash if you can just adopt the merchant approach in which I partner and be a distributor in different parts of Africa. I will keep talking about it every week, hoping that some of us are going to adopt it because I've seen it as a low-hanging fruit. A low-hanging fruit that can enable you start exporting in another 2-3 months. Value-added finished product, either in your brand or in the brand of your supplier. And you can also secure your market. Here is antibiotics. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Almost all the antibiotics we use, are imported. $373 million imported by Africans and Egyptians. Now, do you notice a trend? I don't know if you notice the trend I'm saying. Major importers are in North Africa, Algeria, Egypt, Morocco. Then you have other importers in North Africa, Tunisia, Sudan. So the Northern African countries is taking up about 65%. So basically, we are saying, if you want to export antibiotics, not just the regular packaged medicament, antibiotics in Africa, think North Africa. Think antibiotics in Africa, think North Africa. Who are those that have exported or exporting? Egyptian, South Africa, Madagascar, Kenya, Niger. But the amount of our export is so small, $2.2 million. Wow. It's so small compared to import. All right. And Nigeria is a major importer also. About 6% is imported by Nigeria. Sheep and goat meat. Sheep and goat meat. You know, we've discussed before now, for those that have been following, we've discussed before now, excuse me. Bovine, if you remember, we discussed bovine. Bovine is cow meat. Cow meat. Sheep and goat meat. To think that Africa import 78.2 million and export 164 million. So meaning we are doing a lot of export. Thank you very much, Baba. Meaning we are doing a lot of export. Meaning we are doing a lot of export. And I think that was like 3-4 weeks ago. We did bovine. That was cow meat. Now we are talking about goat meat and sheep. And it's good to know that Africa is doing more than imports. So Ethiopia is doing a lot in this space. Kenya is doing a lot. Sudan, Ethiopia, and Kenya are practically the exporter of sheep and goat meat. Typically, this sheep and goat meat will be frozen. Typically, it should be frozen to be exported in a frozen manner to preserve it in transit. Just the way you export, what do you call it now? Our imported croaker fish, imported Titus, what do you call it now? Mackerel. You know those fish we import? Those fish we import, just exactly the same way it's imported. That's the way it's exported, including chicken also. So for me, I think there's opportunity here for us also, because this is something that we can do. So the essence of this weekly program basically is for us to be able to, if we say, okay, AFCFTA, 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 now you have an idea of all the possible exportable items in AFCFTA, because all the videos of this session are on YouTube. They're on my YouTube channel. So if you check my YouTube channel, you can see them. If you join the Telegram channel, you can see them. So you have access to it. And the idea is for you to always go back and be able to check which of these products should I be looking at for export? Which of them have the potential that I should really be considering for export afterwards? Which of them have the potential that should I be considering for export afterwards? And when you are doing your research, check very well. You know what happened? You might discover that some countries prefer a particular part of the animal. For example, in the US, the leg of chicken is useless. The leg is useless. From the thigh down to the belly are the meat. The wing and the legs are useless. But that useless wing and leg, those people doing chicken in the US, they will process the chicken. When they are selling, they remove the leg and the wing because people don't like it. But you know that thing is delicacy in China. That is a delicacy in China. Chicken wing, chicken leg is a delicacy in China. So what I'm trying to say is that, you know, like I said severally, that this session is to stimulate conversation, thought, and research. This session is to stimulate conversation, thought, thinking, and research. So that you can begin to say, okay, look, let me even go and check more about what this guy said. And then you do your research. You might just find out some people want to buy only the skin of the goat. Some people only want to buy the bones of the goat, or the hoof of the goat, or the horn of the goat. Because for cow, for example, there are countries that buy cow horns and cow bones only. And cow hoof, they use it for butting. They use it for brake pad, cow pat. You know, in society where knowledge is given the attention it deserves, nothing is wasted. Nothing is wasted. Everything can be recycled, can be reused. You know, I saw a documentary in, I think, Sweden, either Sweden or Finland. They will extract juice from apple. You see the shaft of that apple, they are using it to make bags. So now you have handbags made from apple. Handbags like, you know, like plastic bags that can be used in supermarket, or bag that lady can carry. But you know, these bags are now biodegradable bags. And that's the interesting thing. The bags are now biodegradable bags. That's the interesting thing there. And if you understand the way the world is going, you know that that kind of bag have a future. So, and in our environment, there's so much waste. You know, when any society where people don't give knowledge the attention it deserves, that is what happens. In our environment, there's so much waste. But in an environment where knowledge is given the attention it deserves, everything is either reused, replaced, repair. Nothing is wasted. That's why in developed countries and in some other part of, I think it's now happening in some part of Nigeria, you see trash cans, about 4 of them. One for organic matter, organic waste, one for paper, one for plastic, and one for can. Can you imagine? Why? Instead of them separating it at the dump site, they are separating it at the collection center. Fantastic stuff. So you go to malls in developed countries, you see these cans like that. So if it's organic waste, like maybe you just finished taking fruits, you want to throw away the stalk, or you just finished taking a particular snack and you want to throw away the nylon, or you just finished taking snack in a paper wrapper and you throw away the paper. All of them have, or you start drinking and you want to throw away the can. All of them have their trash cans separate, different. Why? Why? Nothing is wasted. To think that anything is a waste is actually because of lack of knowledge, sincerely. To think that anything is a waste is basically because of lack of knowledge. Go to any factory where you have anything being wasted. If you research that thing, you discover in another country they have found a use for it. They have found a use, no matter how useless. You know, for example, you go to Nigerian sawmill, you see sawdust. To create space for other sawdust, if you go to a bute metal, you're climbing third mainland, you look at your right, you see the bute metal stuff. You will notice in that area that dust is being burnt. The sawdust is being burnt. Why is it being burnt? The sawdust is being burnt because there is no use for it. But do you know you can produce briquette from sawdust? And briquette sales in Africa is a huge amount, in hundreds of millions of dollars. Briquette made from organic waste, organic matter like sawdust. But what do you see sawdust being used for? Sawdust is thrown away, is burnt, as in they burn it to create space for other sawdust. Much food is in the tillage of the poor. Much food is in the tillage of the poor. We don't see with our eyes, we see with our mind. So when the mind is not developed, someone just said now, cosmetic giant L'Oreal are using quinoa husk to make some product. Look, it's just simple research. That's why sometimes when someone tells me he studied industrial chemistry and he's looking for a job, I feel like carrying cane to beat the person. You study industrial chemistry, you're looking for a job. I don't get it. I don't get it. Almost everything being produced in the world requires chemistry. You study industrial chemistry, you're looking for a job. I don't get it. I don't know what you have gone to do in school. There's so much that can be done. And this is what you're supposed to be consulting for companies to see how we can turn our waste to wealth. And someone is telling me he's looking for a job. And someone is telling me, and he will say you need money. And I said, you don't need money. You don't need cash. You need that thing in between the ears to be working. And if you can create value, there are people willing to invest in Nigeria. That I can say for fact. If you are also ready to share part of the company, there are people willing to invest if you have the idea. So I'm basically saying that nothing should be wasted. That's basically what I'm saying, that nothing should be wasted, please. Nothing should be wasted. Nothing should be wasted. Nothing should be wasted. Goat and meat. Let's go to the last one for today. You can see the trend line. Growing as usual. Growing as usual. Because it's goat and meat, and the demand keeps growing because it's food. It's food. If you want to export goats, remember the competitors are Ethiopia, Kenya, Sudan, Tanzania, and South Africa. You know, the next product is a product that a lot of people are interested in because today in Nigeria, a lot of people are into this. They are into piggery, because they believe it yields so much. So I know people who have left banking and are into farming and they are doing piggery. So I'm saying, can we begin to export some of the pig meat? Pig meat export is so small, $14 million, but pig meat import, can you imagine? Can you imagine pig meat import? $244 million. Pig meat. And it's like South Africans like a lot of pig. South Africans like a lot of pig, from what I can see here. They are the major importer and the major exporter. Angola also is not doing badly with pigs. Congo is not doing badly. Both DRC and Republic of Congo. Cote d'Ivoire is part of them, including Gabon, Equatorial Guinea. These are all importers of pig meat, pig meat. Pig meat. So please, if you know people who are into pig, tell them there is market for them in Africa. You can kill that pig, do your research to know the way they package it. It has to be frozen, and you can air freight it to the destination. It has to be frozen, and you can air freight it to the destination. let's begin to gear up and get ready for AFCFTA. AFCFTA has come to stay. Nigeria is ratifying already. Different executives have approved. And AFCFTA is going to start in January. By January 1, trading will start in Africa under the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. I hope Nigeria will not be left out. Nigeria is not found in the pig import and export, yeah? We produce. So obviously we consume everything we produce. And I'm saying we can produce more. You can increase production and we can find market in Africa. The volume of import of pig is high. $1 million is almost 50 billion naira. I mean, $100 million is almost 50 billion naira. So we have over 200 billion naira, also over 100 billion naira being used to import piggy, elede. It's just amazing to me. Each time I look at some of these data, I'm blown away, amazed, and also excited really that if only we can just wake up to the reality of opportunity that AFCFTA give us. Sincerely, Nigeria will be a major beneficiary of that product, of that program. South Africa, by the way, South Africa is now a major exporter, followed by Kenya and Nigeria. So trend line is growing as usual because, like I said, it's food item, and if you know us, we are major importer of food. Competing exporter is South Africa, Kenya, Niger, Algeria, and Egypt. And major buyers are South Africa, Angola, DRC, Congo, Republic of Congo, Cote d'Ivoire, and others. All right, so I will, why I played the AFCFTA agreement has been ratified by Nigeria recently. Is it being ratified? I know FEC, Federal Executive Council, have directed they should ratify it. So how soon that will be done by the Ministry of Justice? I don't know. I don't know what the process is. What is implied has been approved, so the process has started, and then they will go and deposit the instrument with AU office in Addis Ababa, or maybe it will be in Ghana now. Ghana is the capital of AFCFTA. Nigeria bidded for the capital of AFCFTA, but unfortunately, Nigeria bidded for the capital of AFCFTA. Unfortunately, we could not get it because we didn't sign when every other person was signing. We didn't sign when other person was signing. All right, so I'll wait for your comment and question. Remember, the export business for busy executive is 20% return on investment in 6 months. Like I said, this year we had delay because of COVID, but we have a guarantee from a tier 1 bank in Nigeria to protect your fund so that no matter what happens, the fund is secured. And we're starting a new project right now, so you can take advantage of it this month. You can always reach me to take advantage of the export business for busy executive, enable you to invest while you're on a paid job. Yes, Daniel Papa, we discussed onion today. You can always pick up the video on the African Export Business Professional. I've dropped the link for you. So Daniel, if you click on that link, you can pick up the video. The video will be available latest by tomorrow. It's usually on YouTube, but I will drop a link there from YouTube so you can get to see the video. So you can drop your comment while I play this video, or question. If you have a question, also feel free, please.
And so as manufacturers, producers and importers, there are solutions to your foreign exchange challenges.
Awesome. Hello, I'm Sandra, Comfort Zone Manufacturing.
Mr. Frank, Amigo Manufacturing.
Fantastic presentation, by the way.
Thank you.
You sounded so confident in your presentation. How are you coping with the current economic recession in the country? You know, as manufacturers we are largely dependent on local market. Many of our finished goods are piled up in the warehouse. Because demands from buyers have reduced, what do you think is the way out?
You are right actually, I'm also experiencing the same situation. The current decline is making it difficult to sell locally. but I'm already preparing to take advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA.
AFCFTA?
Are you not aware of the fact that the whole of Africa have come together to sign an agreement to trade together duty-free? And that means, after manufacturing my products, I can ship it to 53 African countries without payment of duty,
Awesome.
which is an extra market for me. This program is starting next year, and I'm already preparing to take advantage of it.
Wow, thank you so much. How are you going about it? And how can I also prepare for it?
Well, I'm currently training myself and other staffs to take advantage of this. And I've found an executive diploma program in export business from the American Institute of Extended Studies to enable me achieve this.
This is great. Thanks so much for the information. How can I also enroll for this program?
To register for an executive diploma in export business management and take advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement,
Simply call 0809-124-4449 or send an email to tradacademy@3timpex.com.
Someone is asking a question. He said, hope AFCFTA will not neglect AGOA. My take on AGOA is this. I feel AGOA is like giving a 1-year-old child a turkey lap, or 2-year-old child a turkey lap, saying he should eat it. Well garnished with different spices. The guy will just, or the baby will just, he will just throw it on the floor. He can't appreciate it. He doesn't have the teeth and what it takes to take advantage of that meat. That's the way I see AGOA. AGOA is a huge opportunity for Africa to grow. But what is required to take advantage of that market, a lot of African businesses don't have it. Which is why AFCFTA is great, because AFCFTA is, the standard, sometimes standard when a country is very, very, well, for developed countries, there are some standard they have that are, I won't say it's outrageous, but it's a way of also, they pride themselves out of the reach of the developing country or underdeveloped countries. So we are unable to meet up for a number of reasons. Number one, most of the products are supposed to be value-added finish. Most of the things we export are commodities. And we do more of commodity more with Europe and Asians. So I'm not sure if we will neglect AGOA in the sense that we have not even taken advantage of it, despite the extension by Clinton and the extension by Obama.
Welcome, sir. This is the second time I'm coming to see you. I need to know how to go about this export business. Please do relax, sir. With all due respect, I need to see a manager. You guys need to be able to give me enough information about this export business. I'm sorry, sir. The bank is a financial institution. We offer financial advice to the best of our knowledge. This is just waste of time. My manager might be able to give you some recommendations. Please do hold on. Hello, sir. Please do come with me to my office. So I was told you needed information on export business. Well, sir, a lot of opportunities have passed by me in the past few months. I have received so many orders for my product and services abroad, I just don't know how to go about it. Well, it's a good thing you came here today. One of Nigerian's foremost trade consulting firm 3Timpex now provides export support services for both intending and existing exporters. Really? Support services like, well, name it. Export market advisory, export product advisory, export skill acquisition e-learning, export pricing advisory, export contract advisory, export paperwork advisory, export finance advisory, to mention just a few. Wow, this is like a dream come true. How do I contact them to know more? Simply call 0809-124-4449 or send a mail to tradacademy@3timpex.com. Export service designed just for you. Subscribe to 3T Export Support Services now.
Wow man, you are doing quite good.
You are not doing bad yourself.
How is your business doing these days, with the economic decline here and there? You don't look like you are being affected at all.
Well, it's affecting everyone. I just found a way of, expanding market for my services.
Really? Tell me more.
Let's talk in my office. So basically, I found a way of taking my services to other countries in the world. Hence, I don't have to depend so much on the current economic situation in our country.
Oh my god, this is awesome. But how did you go about it?
Well, thanks to 3T Impex and American Institute of Extended Studies, I was able to acquire skills and competence to take my skills to the world. Through Executive Diploma in Service Export Management.
That's just great. Is this program just for everyone? You know I'm not into ICT service like you.
Well, the following services and many more can be exported. They are ICT, professional services, management consulting, marketing, training and education, engineering and architectural services, entertainment services, customer services and call center, graphics and photography, HR-related services. Don't get me started on the benefits. Earning in foreign exchange, increased sales volume and so much more.
I'm not waiting to hear more. I'm calling 08036522946 right away.
You can also send a mail to tradacademy@3timpex.com.
That's it. I'm signing up right away.
To sign up or know more about our services, simply call 08036522946 or send a mail to tradacademy@3timpex.com.
Hey Paul. What a surprise to see you. In the port, of all places.
Life is full of surprises, I guess.
You and this your sense of humor. I came to relax at the riverbank before I sighted you. So, what on earth brings you to the port?
Actually, I came to oversee the export of my products.
You must be joking, right?
No, I'm not.
When did you start producing? Not to talk of exporting?
I actually started some few months ago. I now produce and export processed food items. And basically I am here to oversee the shipment myself.
Wow. It's been barely 15 months since I last saw you. Won't you tell me how all this happened?
Of course I will. Let's go grab a sit.
So how did you become an exporter in such a short time?
Well, the last time we met I told you of my plans on exiting paid employment. So I was looking out for a business to go into. A few weeks later, I came across a training program organized by 3T Impex Trade Academy, one of Nigerian's foremost trade consulting companies.
Really?
Yes, the training is tagged From Export Novice to Export Legend.
Sounds great. Tell me more.
After 6 months I completed the Diploma in Export Business Management. And in another 6 months, I successfully produced and packaged, even without having a manufacturing company.
Amazing.
I know, right? And all this is aside the free export advisory services, free export license, free books and audio materials, to mention just a few.
Wow, thank the heavens I came down to the port today. I am definitely considering this. How can one get started?
Simply call 0809-124-4449 or visit www.globaltradecollege.com. You can also send an email to tradacademy@3timpex.com.
Be a pal, own your own export business, and become an export legend today.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for being able to join us today. See you next week. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.